Yo, 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 what's going on, people? Holla dollar. How you doing? Give me a hey, hey. Let me know where y'all coming in from. By the way, it's good to see everybody. Happy hump day. We got some things to do. Hopefully everybody's been out there shredding, making a little bit of money. Now it's time to plan out how we're going to make the Momo money. Mo money. Hey, Brian, what's up, baby? Chi-Town. Holla. Cool. Mr. Hostler. Man, all you guys in Chi-Town, huh? What's this, the hotbed? London. Mr. Moore, how you doing, sir? I'm actually be in London in, I don't even know, maybe a few weeks, I think. Cool. That is good, good, good. How's everybody's trading going this week? That's the real thing, right? Has anybody been making any money? South Africa. All right, all right, all right. Yeah, Mr. Moore, I got to just see my schedule. So I'm there for a speaking gig, but yeah, I'm going to have some time. If you want to email me or text me or something, 517-974-1480. Just let me know. Jacobo! Jacopo, what's up, baby? Good to see you. Yeah. Jacopo, how's the weather over there in Barcelona? Man, I miss you, buddy. I didn't really get to see you after our wild night out where we both lost our cell phones. Shit. All right, well, let's get started and let's see what we can do. Cool. And guys, feel free to, of course, leave me any questions or, do whatever you got to do. But we'll get this pate started. So let's take a look here real quick and we'll take a look at the markets and then we'll make some moves. It's all right being back in the USA. I mean, I miss Spain. I miss the lifestyle of not having to do anything all day, but I mean, just eating and drinking all day, but it's good to be home. Plus, I miss the beach and stuff. That's the thing is there's no good beaches in Spain. I like to swim I go swimming a couple times a day in the ocean. I like that warm water. Boom. Well, man, I miss it. I really liked Malaga, Jacopo, and also we really liked Valencia too. I mean, I liked all of it. All right, cool. So let's take a look and see what's gone down in the markets here, and then we'll kind of plan ahead a little bit here in terms of where we see the next action, right? Where's the new at? So this is CoinG. This is our daily charts. So we've had now that big kind of big wipeout in Ethereum. And now we've started to rebound here. And so I don't know if any of you guys caught this bounce yet. We took a little bit in the chat room, in the crypto chat, the day of the bounce for a pretty good rip. But, overall, last couple of days, we're starting to stall out. So once you get something like this that's come so oversold and you've come all the way down, so you go from 400 to 200. So that's an exact 50% drop. Those type of numbers really matter in trading. So, round numbers, it seems so simple, but round numbers, 50. And then in terms of retracements, I retrace 50%, 25%, 30%. Those end up being, important numbers. So we ended up having about a 50% drop from 400 to 200. And the bounce has been back on. Now, this is the thing, though. The easy money's been made in the bounce. The easy money's been made in the bounce. Unless you were long this thing from down here, now we're just kind of stalling out, right? And so we don't really know if this is bullish or bearish at this point. We've had this breakdown, pullback into resistance, But now we're sandwiched between two levels of resistance. We're sandwiched between a support level on the 9 EMA, but also multiple resistance levels. And frankly, just on a common sense wise, right? If you bounce from 200 to 300, you've once again retraced 50%, right? You've retraced $100. That's a huge move. And so now we're just starting to kind of chop around. And so the last few days, there's been really no action getting traded on some of these bigger names. The more action's been in some of the altcoins, but you'll see even with LTC, oh baby, 1, 2, 3. There we go. So if you look even on LTC, it's like the same deal. So this thing retraced a lot more, right? You go from 100 down to 35, but it stopped on support on a dime. So guys, when you get extended, I want you to always kind of remember key levels. So like where we bought this thing, and this is a great setup, how to kind of buy these things. But you know, when you have so you see like this support here, see how you test this level so many times? You test it, 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 right? And so when you come back and test it and you're also really, really oversold, you can see the stochastics are running at 10. So guys, what does stochastics mean, right? Stochastics is just an easy way to measure overbought and oversold via an indicator. Obviously, common sense also tells you that, but it's just an easy way to confirm what your eyes are already telling you in terms of where a bounce can start. And so we got this thing in the low 40s up when we were in the crypto chat, and we got a really nice spike out of this thing. And now it's doing the same thing where, you know, you're just kind of flummoxing around. See, like the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, you're not really getting any movement in this. Why? Well, the easy money's been made, right? You go from 35 to 60 in, what is this, 2 hours? So if you go from 35 to 60 in a couple hours, well, that's pretty extended too, right? So now we're just kind of farting around here, and we really won't know what direction this is going to break now till these ranges start to clear, right? So you got kind of a lid on this thing near 58. See how like, see, you got to always connect the dots when you think about trading, right? So see like how like this 58 level is just really, really key. It always keeps fading at 58. See that? It fades at 58, fades at 58. So to really, really get going, we're going to need to see, need to see that kind of move over the 58-ish level. Now, on the other side of things, remember that on the daily chart, we've smacked right into resistance. See how like we keep smacking into resistance right here? See that? Tap, tap. We keep smacking in. It seems like it can't get over this 50 SMA. Even when it tries, it comes right back down on it. So in technical terms, we've got a breakdown to support and now a pullback. And so we're essentially a tweener, right? And a tweener in trading is tough. They call it tweener in trading. They call it the penis in between us, right? It's when you're sitting in the backseat of somebody's car and you got to sit in the middle, right? That's the penis in between us. And that's where we are right now with LTC. We're not really above the resistance. We're still above the breakout. And so we're just right in the middle. So where we need to see this thing go for the next run. So look, if you caught this thing back down low, that's awesome. And you can swing trade this thing and hold this thing so you've got a lot of cushion. But if you're looking to try to buy a new position under this resistance, you know, you're going to be caught in a little bit of a kind of a shitstorm here because it's just not wanting to break. And so kind of really before you get aggressive, there's two levels that we need to watch. Number one is this 58. And then on the other side of things, right, we need to see, you know, if we need to be reversing our positions, right, kind of keep an eye on this level right here. And that's when, that's when we'll have to start to play this party. So check this out, right? So you're testing this. How many times you get test, right? Test, 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 test. So we need to break really and break and hold kind of under this 51-ish level So I'd go with almost 50 to be sure. But if we hold under 50, then probably, we'll drift back lower. If we can break above 58, then we're good to go, right? So kind of keep an eye on those levels. When you guys are trading, it's really, really important to map out your levels, right? Map out your levels of where you would get aggressive. So like in the meantime, what can you do while this level is just chilling, right? While this level is just chilling and marinating, as my buddy Taylor would say, it's just marination. It needs a little marination with some Parmesan cheese. So while this thing is marinating, right, what do? Well, you can trade back and forth within the range, but these are just for day trades, right? The day trade, you can day trade this thing back and forth in the range, and catch into the spikes and rebuy the dips and so on and so forth, or short the spikes, rebuy the dips. You can trade around in the range till this range resolves itself, right? And when you're looking at a range to resolve itself, there's a couple things you need to do. Number one, obviously, you have your kind of bigger picture, your bigger picture moments. But then on the other side of things, right, you got to always keep an eye on your daily chart, right? So you may have your range here, and that's all fine and dandy. But then, we've got to go on and think, okay, what's happening on the bigger picture? And these two things got to align themselves for a little party time. My line drawing's a little bit crooked today. It's been a long day, right? So kind of keep an eye on these levels, but always be aware of what's happening on the daily chart. That's really the biggest thing you can do, is make sure that you're aligning at multiple time frames. Anytime you get aggressive on a trade, you've got to have a pattern on the daily. Like notice how LTC stopped right at its 50 SMA or 200 SMA, and then right at this price support too, right? So that gives you a daily pattern, and then it's just more a matter of starting to trade this thing on an intraday basis. You can see it's like when we took this bad boy, it's just a simple setup. Once this thing held on the daily, now like if you're looking to kind of shred this thing, all we did was we waited for it to pop and dip and hold at its MAs. And now we can take this thing for that quick spike. And, this thing, when you go from 40 to 60, it's almost a 30, 40, 50% gain in a couple minutes. But that's when you get the real action. And look, now it's been boring. I mean, I've been kind of stuck in this $3, $4 range too. The crypto chat every day, we're like, dude, where's the heat? Where's the heat? And, we don't have any yet till this range breaks. And so that's what we're kind of keeping an eye on, is we can play it back and forth till it kind of breaks over. And so, BTC's looking the same way. Hey, leave the crypto hustler alone. Hey, crypto hustler, stop posting so much nonsense, but come and hang out. Even if you post some nudies, we wouldn't really care. Our people are good people. Our people are good people. They're good people. Don't be the Rocket Man. Trolls unite. Good. Let's talk a little bit about BTC. Look, this kind of breakdown pullback is the same type of setup, right? So after you get this flat top breakout, what do you have here? You go from 3,000 to 5,000, and in cryptos, support levels work even better than they do in stocks. So you'll see like how this thing came all the way back down, and it tested its old breakout level, to the penny, right? And so if you're looking for a swing entry, that's really where your bottom is. And now what's kind of happening is you're getting that full-blown marination here that could take a little bit of time as you're starting to just kind of develop a range. So if you look here, let me change this to an hourly. Hold on. Change the interval. 60 minutes. Right, you can see this thing's just kind of in that full-blown veal Parmesan marination style. So really till it kind of starts to bust out of these levels, you're just going to be stuck in a range for a little bit of time, but I wouldn't worry too much about it. You know, overall, the bounce was awesome. Now it's just a matter of, right, let's take out some ranges and get this party going. And look, it doesn't really matter to the upside or downside. You know, we've been actually taking some shorts the last few days also. So that's, you know, there's two aspects of crypto trading is, you know, you don't got to just sit there and you don't got to be a victim, right? You can come in and take some shorts and play this thing both ways. So right now, until we figure out how this range breaks, you know, we'll kind of have to trade this thing back and forth till we either get a break of this range and bust through 300, or, right, we break back below this, and that could set the bear flag back on, right? Because you got this breakdown, pull back into resistance, and now you're just caught in a little sandwich, right? And not the kind of sandwiches that us guys like, but one of the more kind of bad ones. So we've got to hold this 9 EMA here or break over this level here to kind of release the dragon on this bad boy. So I'm watching this 300 level really closely. See that bit right here? Because if we get that, we're going to break over these MAs and then also this recent high. And that's when we'll get kind of a full-blown run. But till that happens, we're just really relaxing and kind of fucking around within the range that range breaks. Now let's take a look at some of the other, let's take a little bit of a look at some of these other little crypto hoes that we like to trade. So one of the things to remember is that when the big boys are kind of just sitting around, right? They're just hanging out in purgatory. You get a lot more choppy action in the altcoins in terms of you'll see some altcoins break out and it'll look amazing. But then what'll happen is you'll hit one of the flags or one of the patterns and those fuckers just die. And you're like, right? And that's actually happened to me twice this week. I took a trade and trig that I was up nicely on, and then boom, the bottom dropped off. And then we took another one and let me see, bring up the chart here at XCV, and kind of the same type of deal happened. You know, we were taking this trade, hold on. We took this trade first in THC, a little hemp coin. You know, and so we were fucking around in this thing. And you can see like this is like pretty sick pattern. So it had this thing, it went up like 100, 200%. It's more of a penny stock when you're trading in BTCs, but you can see like this thing was just on the curl, and we had really kind of a nice move going. We caught it off the bottom, and we were on the curl, and then it was like, doop. I sold half and took some profits, and then it just dies. And we were seeing that quite a lot, you know, in some of these bad boys. What was the other one we were doing? XVC, you know, similar type of charts. You can see this thing. So the thing's at 40 cents, boosts up to $1, and you're thinking like, man, everything is just gravy. And then next thing you know, like this not beautiful flags, right? Next thing you know, right? And so unless you're kind of catching these things right off into the bottom, they've been super tricky. You know, same type of deal. Like this trig has been a great trader, but right after this kind of, it ran from 20 to $3. Now, like it just gave it all back. And so that's the thing with these altcoins is, you know, if you can catch it in the beginning of the momentum, you know, it's all fine and dandy. But then when you start to see, like I had this pattern right here, after this thing spiked up, it started to base here and it kind of came out of this range. And you see this like huge spike, and you're up 20, 30%. But, you know, my problem was I was trading this in the BTC, so I didn't realize, you know, I'm like thinking, hey, it's only up a couple pennies. But it's still like, right, 20, 30%. And then this thing just goes, right? So you got to be a little bit careful. And that's happening a lot with some of these little heaters, but you're seeing still some really good action in the altcoins. It's, I think that's going to be really the key is, you know, when you look at this, like I go on Bittrex every day in the morning on my Bittrex account, and you'll see all sorts of these little chunkers going. The key is you got to get them early, because see this, like if you get you know, the first couple flags, you're good to go. But if you stay too long, they start to fade off, and they don't really find any support anywhere. Like I've been staring at this one since 6 in the morning, and it had like this huge push, and then it's back down she goes. We've been trying to looking at this one a little bit too. This Internet of Peoples, but same thing. All the mega penis flags on this thing, the MPF. All right, for those of you guys that are big into the MPF, the MPF, you know, you're getting kind of like this one push, and then boom, right? And then they're not really giving you those secondary or thirdary pushes that you need, or fourth dairies like you were getting before. I know third dairy is not a word for all you grammar snobs, but it just sounds so much cooler than whatever the real third term for third dairy is. Same type of deal. See this thing? Nice one flag you get, and it cruises. You know, you're up 60-70% on this bad boy, but then back down she goes. You know, so when you're trying to trade some of these altcoins, I'd probably be selling out into those first pushes, and then I would just, we know Crypto Shredder. Jeez, I did go to college for 7 years. A lot of people go to college for 7 years. They're called doctors. So that's kind of the deal with the market right now. You know, we don't got too much action right now.